talking about the comparison between monopoly and monopolistic competition. Now let's look at monopoly characteristic. First of all, it's high barriers of entry. What does that mean, high barriers of entry? It simply means that it's difficult to enter the market. Why? Because of its legal restriction, such as patent and invention incentives, license and other entry restriction, and lastly, economics of scale. Now, moving on to the next one is a price maker. Price maker has the market power to set price of product, such as your daily milk in Giant. They could increase the price from 5 ringgit to 10 or 15 or whatever they want. They have the authorities to do that. Now, moving on to the last one, sole supplier with no close substitute. For example, let's say if I can invent a car that can fly, I wouldn't have any close substitute because no one else in the world can invent a car that can fly. Okay, so I'm a sole supplier. Now, moving on to the last one is monopolistic competition. Its first characteristic is the opposite of monopoly. It has low barriers of entry, which means it's very easy to get into the market. Price maker, same as monopoly. The third one, suppliers with substitute but different enough that their demand curve slope downwards. So suppliers with substitute means like, for example, Starbucks and Coffee Bean. As for this one, enough that their demand curve slope downwards. It means like, for example, Starbucks and Coffee Bean. Let's say Starbucks increase their price. As price increases, the demand decreases. This is because people will substitute Starbucks with Coffee Bean, because Coffee Bean price is lower. So yeah, that's the two characteristics for monopolistic competition and monopoly.
Small sole proprietorship business and a massive billion-dollar industry have in common? Well, yes, they both want to make profit, and when their main objective is making profit, it's obvious that they would want to maximize their profit. So how do firms maximize their profit? What price should they set for their products? And what quantity should they supply? And what rule does monopoly follows? And what does monopolistic competition follows in order to maximize profit? Well, here's where a very simple general rule and the graphs come into play. So now, how do firms maximize profit? Regardless of the types of firms and the types of market structures, they all follow the same rule. The golden rule of profit maximization.
Can see that.
Marginal revenue equals marginal cost. Okay, what is marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is the amount of money you get back for every unit sold, and marginal cost is the money you have to put in for every unit produced. So now let's look at the graph. We'll first look at the monopoly graph, where I'll teach you how to maximize profit using the graph. And when you say marginal revenue equals marginal cost, in terms of the graph, you say marginal revenue intersects marginal cost. So here is where, this is where you determine what is your quantity supplied. And from here, you can also determine at what price should you set for your product. So now we know what price should be set for our product and how much we should sell. So how to determine the profit in the graph? Well, in order to determine profit, you have to look at the vertical distance between the demand curve and your average total cost curve, which is this. So here, you can now determine the profit over here. This is where the firm makes the most profit. Now let's move on to monopolistic competition. As I mentioned, they follow the same rule, where marginal revenue equals marginal cost, where MR curve intersects MC curve. So over here you can determine your quantity supplied. And over here, you can determine the price that you should set for your product. And the profit, vertical distance between demand curve and ATC curve, which is here. So this is the maximum profit monopolistic competition firm can make.